And there we go. So Jenner will be starting on the blue side this game. Gnar ban immediately onto Apple.
Oh, they watch those promotional matches too, apparently.
I was looking at Trace's solo. Trace always does weird stuff in solo queue. I mean, he's definitely one of the more creative top laners. He's still playing some Morgana in solo queue. Not sure if we're going to see that one come out tonight. So LeBlanc will be banned up against Frozen as well, even though GBM is a perfectly good LeBlanc player himself.
So not wanting to first pick that mid lane, so I wonder if the focus is going to be more on the jungle this time for IM. I mean, Chaser was one of the big problem points towards the end of the season, and you know, by setting him up for a good first pick, maybe they can show that's the case. Well, Bard banned against Sweet. That is unexpected.
I mean, what's interesting about this is Ignar is actually the one who's been playing a lot of Bard in solo queue.
Yeah, and he's been getting a lot of wins with it too, if you look at his recent match results. But they know things we don't know. They've been in scrims that we haven't seen, so apparently Sweet's Bard is something to be afraid of, which makes me very excited.
That's the first Bard ban we have ever seen. Well, here we go. Gragas going to be the final ban right there. So will the Azir be taken first for GBM? GBM very tired, just the constant yawning today.
I can relate. I've been jet lagged pretty much all week. I know how you feel, GBM. He's like, oh, Azir, I just want to play Xerath over and over again. Oh, man.
Jenner and IM were the two main Xerath teams here in Champions. The Xerath Wars when they fought. As Xerath bouncing back and forth between the two of them. So it will be the Azir first. Now, Frozen does have a lot of options in terms of what he could play into that matchup. Will be the Urgot early pick, actually.
Yeah, and they get the Thresh for Ignar, too, which I think is going to be pretty important. So we'll see what Jenner has to respond with. Some good top lane and jungle options available to them right now.
First time we've seen Urgot be a priority pick in some time. Now, IM did do very well with it, as we saw in some of those clips during the qualifiers, but having that heavy priority on Urgot, usually Urgot is used more as a counter pick these days, like we saw against the Kalista in that last game, as opposed to being first pick worthy. Chaser hovering over that Nidalee for the time being. Of course, the Sejuani is still available to him should he want to snap that up. Hecarim could come in here, especially with the Gnar ban. Hecarim becomes a much more attractive option, so you don't get Frozen Mallet black cleavered like Kuve did in the last game. So
yeah, Sejuani should be the pickups. And excuse me, they are locked in. Maokai seems like an appropriate response here. And Frozen has been a big Lux player for a long time, but I think that was more a little bit of trolling from GBM than anything. I'd be pretty surprised if the Lux gets picked, but I wouldn't be as surprised by the Ahri.
I don't know. Frozen will bust out the Lux from time to time, even off meta. We've seen that.
But still.
Could be a mid-Kog'Maw here, actually, for some nice poke with that Luden's Echo. Maokai will be locked in for the top lane, so very tanky composition from IM. They're going to go for Lee Sin. Okay.
Wow, so we'll get to see Tucson play some jungle Lee Sin then.
Well, they've got hard CC in 2 lanes right now in the side lane, so there's a lot of opportunity for some early pressure from Lee Sin, especially against a farming jungler like Sejuani. So the side lanes from Jenner are going to have to play pretty conservatively. They want to stay alive, and this may, of course, prompt that Ezreal pickup right now just to have a bit more survivability during the laning phase.
And Sweet grabbing the Janna too wouldn't be bad as well, just to prevent some of that engage. Ooh, but maybe it will be that Alistar.
I think Alistar Ezreal is about as conservative as you can get here if you're worried about shutting down this Lee Sin and just turtling it out to the late game, and that's what they're going to go with.
Yep, so the final pick now over to Longzhu IM. And we'll see what they decide to send in there as their mid laner. Okay, yep. Frozen has always been a big Cassiopeia player. Even before Cassiopeia became very meta, Frozen was known as one of the better ones in Korea for that.
Frozen was the king of Victor and Cassiopeia before that meta actually arrived, so it sort of fell right into his lap. He was drawing Cassiopeia bans before anybody was playing Cassiopeia, so cool to see him pick that one up. And they needed a high damage mid laner to compensate in the late game for the lack of damage otherwise speaking. So,
welcome to Summoner's Rift. Jenner versus Longzhu IM. And Gank by Mom bringing the Azir. to the mid lane.
Just controlling a toke and dancing right now.
That's right.
Having a dance party with his little sand soldiers.
Why not? And some fans of IM and Frozen.
The ladies like Frozen's charming good looks.
They do. But towards them, he's ice cold.
Well,
who will melt that heart of ice?
Well, we'll find out. Not Sejuani this game at the very least.
Nope.
Well, two-tier bottom laners, so this should be a nice slow one of Q poke in the bottom lane. I'm very curious to see how Tusa does. So his first competitive match in the jungle role.
Yeah.
I think this was such a smart role swap, though. This is one of those few role swaps that I can really see working out for a team, just based on the play style that they had before. And if Ignar can roam as much as Tucson did, IM used to have that great synergy between Wisdom and Tucson and their roaming gank squad of death.
Yeah, it's too
so
bad.
They can kind of go back to that old style, I feel.
It's too bad that you know, that Wisdom ended up having those issues too, because it did seem like it was really starting to work for IM before Wisdom had to take a break, and
okay. Probably
Tucson carrying on in his footsteps now.
Probably we'll see Wisdom playing on the Tigers soon, I would imagine. So
yeah, quite possible.
He'll probably get some play time here over the course of the season. So hopefully some of his wrist issues have lightened up a little bit.
Yep. I'd imagine if he's on another team, he's probably ready to at least practice again.
Okay.
Oh, Ignar doing some good zoning early on. Gonna get that level 2 a little bit quicker, it looks like.
This is just a very defensive lane from Janair. Stay out of range, farm with Mystic Shot if you need to, heal up if you happen to get hit by one of those corrosive charges from the Urgot, but just all about playing for that late game and nullifying this Lee Sin pick, which does carry a pretty decent amount of risk in the current meta.
We already know what's going to happen, though. They've got giant enemy Crab God. They've secured the win. No worries.
It's over already, Noah.
Yep.
Why
Sorry.
even play the game?
Sorry to disappoint, but giant enemy Crab God decides these things.
Oops, couldn't quite hit that CS at the back. Gets it anyway. So watch. Very boring lane. And there's
hook on to
Ignar.
Chaser already. Ignar doing some roaming, and there's Tucson. Chaser trying to get away. Had to burn his flash there. So already the support jungle duo are making plays.
Well, that's the danger of playing Sejuani right here, is that you are going to be farming. You are vulnerable to some of these more high damage junglers like Lee Sin, and Ignar finding a cute place to catch out Chaser and already taking his flash away. So that's one less tool they're going to have in these 2v2s if Tucson can find a skirmish right here. And there's a pink ward going to be taken out immediately. Chaser not in a position to go ahead and take that out, and activating the blue buff. So Chaser trying to remain elusive in the jungle right now, but he's going to be a little scared of going to that camp. He does have the Scuttle Crab at the very least and some decent warding in the river.
Yep. And GBM understandably pushed back a little bit early on, but still more or less keeping up in CS. So fairly passive start aside from that little roam from Ignar, but we'll see if maybe IM gets a few more opportunities for that type of thing. Right now with the warding, it's pretty easy for Ignar to just sort of sneak away, you know, pretend that he's going to go ward try and then just slip off to mid lane for a moment.
Wow, this lane is really boring.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why we're watching this lane so much. I mean, pretty much
Well,
all the
if you
lanes
look
are
at-
going to be boring. It's
if
just
you
going
look
to be
at
a
the
farm
mini-map-
fest for a while.
Let me tell you what we have a choice of watching here right now, Monty.
I want to watch Lee Sin.
You want to just watch Lee Sin clear jungle camps?
Yes,
Why is that?
I do, because maybe the Lee Sin will do something again.
Well, he's back at base now, so I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, Skirmisher Saber into Warrior Enchantment, so Tucson really looking to get into those back lines and be as disruptive as possible. Trace just going to go ahead and take the Gromp right now with that Hecarim. Did get a health crystal first, and now he's going to have that Gromp buff just to be as annoying in lane as he possibly can be.
He's a bit down in CS for the moment, but he should be able to sit in lane and CS a little bit more now. Catch up, perhaps.
Yeah, well, he's also going to win every trade with Maokai with that grunt buff on, so does have that advantage going for him as well.
True enough. And GBM just farming under turret. And here we go. You know, Ezreal Alistar is really one of the classic League of Legends bot lanes. It's been around for a long time.
Yes, it reminds me of Woong in Mad Life.
Yep. Oh, an early dragon for IM. We'll see if they can sneak this one away. They've got the ward in the back of the pit right now.
And they have control over the bottom side of the map too, so there's not really much actually that Jin is going to be able to do about this one. Just a recall coming in from Chaser. They probably have some idea that this is going on, but there's no way they can skirmish this. And Chaser can't go into that pit without the flash available, so take out that dragon.
Yep, I'm starting to feel it. The jungle support synergy, it's coming back. It's Tucson Wisdom 2.0. Tucson and Ignar now. They're cops. Who's a good cop and bad cop, though? I feel like Ignar's the bad cop and Tucson's a good cop.
Okay. I think I can accept that.
Yeah.
Ignar is playing the undead character this game. The soul-stealing character, whereas Tucson is the righteous monk. So I think we can go with the good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
In that direction.
Well, Tucson could be like, you know, I really hope my friend Ignar here doesn't get mad because whatever he does, I can't witness it.
All right, double tier for Incredible Miracle, though, so it's going to be a while before they can make plays, which means that picking up that early dragon is just even more important because they were unlikely to be able to contest it anyway. So by snagging it, they avoid being in a power trough and trying to fight at that dragon early on. So it's a nice little bonus right there, and something that the Lee Sin helps make up for too. The lack of punch until those tiers are fully stacked is Lee Sin's prime time to shine. And so they at least have a well-balanced power curve here, even if that is going to fall off just a little bit. Trace still pretty far behind in terms of CS.
I was about to say, Apple gaining a pretty decent lead already. This guy's pretty exciting. End up being a pretty good top laner because you just don't see Trace fall behind like that very often.
Yeah, I mean, the Maokai can be decent into the Hecarim, but usually you wouldn't see a lead this big opening up.
Yeah, it's exceptionally large. A little bit of poking onto Pilot. Can't Arcane shift out of the way of the Acid Hunter, can you?
I wonder how reserved Trace has been playing, too, as a result of this Lee Sin pick. He's had pretty good vision.
Oh, grab onto Pilot, even after the Arcane shift. Yeah, but the thing is that Jin doesn't have any forward wards. So right now, I would imagine Trace is feeling a little bit nervous there.
Well, Chaser is level 6 right now, so he can actually be a lot more effective in ganks. Let's see if he's going to decide to make a play instead. Looks like
no plays there, not standing in a ward.
Nope, just going to back out. Something popped his Raptor buff, looked like, so or it ran out.
Yep. Oh, they're going to try to make a play on Ignar here. Position reverser. They're actually going to get Sweet away. Oh, nice Lantern play. Oh, they grab Sweet anyway. He's tanky, but that's a lot of damage. Wow. Roar and Ignar managing to use the abilities there to stay safe.
That
was pretty
was a really bold bait, actually, considering
no
they
kidding.
knew that he was there and their jungler wasn't anywhere nearby. They continue to go on to this one.
They tried. Oh, there's a Sejuani out onto Ignar now. I think he's going to go down, but can Ward pick up a kill here? He does onto Sweet. Can he get away? No. 2 kills for Pilot down the bot lane and a celebration true shot barrage.
I don't really know why they would have gone back into that one. Now they have the pink ward in the brush. They should have suspected that Chaser was still around, and instead the double kill goes over to Pilot.
It was a nice escape, and then they just kind of walked back up to him.
I mean, they won the trade even in that 2v3, so they had the advantage they needed and then got a little bit greedy. And Ignar, without any kind of flash, walking into that brush with the Alistair in it. And then Chaser still having his Glacial Prison up. They knew that ultimate hadn't been used on that initial gank, so pretty sloppy, actually, from IM.
It's a bit surprising. You know, the interesting thing, though, despite all that, is that if you look at top and mid, IM getting pretty decent CS leads over both of their counterparts on Jin Air. Really,
yeah, that top lane is especially troubling, actually. Yeah. When a Maokai is going to get this far ahead, you have to be very concerned about how you're going to take him out in the late game.
Yeah, because that's just like straight up 1v1. The junglers really haven't been up there very often, so that is just purely Apple
no
outplaying Trace.
Yep, no ganks up in that top lane yet.
Yeah.
So Pilot able to pick up even more sustain right now too with that Vamp Scepter off of the 2 kills that they got.
Despite the kills though too, IM still ahead in CS down in that bot lane as well. Which is pretty interesting.
Well, I mean, you are bullying out with this Urgot and creating some pretty large zones, so that's to be expected to a certain degree. But this 40 CS gap between Trace and Apple is absolutely crazy.
Well, it's been continuing to grow. Like last time we checked, it was 10, or it was 20 rather, then it was 30, now it's 40.
It's very troubling.
Yeah, Apple's really running away with the lane at the moment. Tucson in the meantime, just kind of doing what he can, taking a moment to farm, probably up to, well, he's 6 now, I suppose. Or he has surpassed the 6 mark anyway at this point.
Well, they know that this Sejuani is in the bottom side. So Tucson is waiting right now to execute a counter gank in case Sejuani comes in, and Chaser looking to make a play from that brush. Chaser does that. There's a glacial
flash ult on the roar. Nice knockups. Oh, look at all that damage. True Shot Barrage comes through. Somehow he stays tanky enough to survive for a little while, but it's still a kill for Jin Air. That was clean. Whoa, Trace also wrong direction. They still get the kill on the Ignar though. Tucson has to flash away. A bit of an awkward fight, but Jin Air still comes away with 2 kills.
Yeah, GBF2 had the angle from the mid lane, so there's no help coming from Cassiopeia. Sweet
they're gonna
under
try
the
to dive.
tower.
Yeah, I don't know. Sweet. Just kind of hanging out under tower, I guess.
They want to go for this dragon immediately, so Jin Air going to take the second dragon of the game. But IM, that's the second time that they know what's coming. They can see what is coming into that lane, and I think they are overestimating their power at this point in time. Trying to make some fancy plays right there, but just Chaser with the priority and actually committing I don't think they expected Chaser to flash ult like that, because he got a lot of damage down before Tucson was able to react from the lane.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice little lead early on for Jin Air because of that. 1 dragon apiece as well too. Overall, still a close game, and largely close because of the CS lead on the side of IM. Now the CS lead up in top of 50 about.
Yeah, but the big thing is that Trace got a kill right there, so that's going to close that gold gap pretty significantly, and was going to be pretty important to how this lane plays out in the future. Pilot also another couple of assists, getting that Bilgewater Cutlass, so he's really safe in terms of being able to continue to stack that tier and play pretty far back. So here we go again. Another attempt from Tucson.
Now he's waiting. No Chaser this time around, though. Oh, there he is. Now he's coming in.
Are they going to try this again, though, when they know that Chaser's back and his ultimate is going to be up one more time? No, they're finally just going to back off of that one. This is very weird from IM, just in terms of how much they're committing right now. Chaser getting a whole handful of deep wards alongside Sweet into that bottom side jungle from IM.
Not bad. So they're going to see Tucson come through here. That turret's so low. Oh, junglers find each other.
So this is where Jin Air can actually, if they can take out this turret in the bottom side, the grouping with Azir is going to be very effective. Again, pretty low wave clear from IM. It's not the worst in the world, but Cassiopeia just taking time because she has that damage over time instead of the instant wave clear. So you can get a couple more shots in on the turret if there's a Cassiopeia defending. And also just the zones that they can create, Jin Air can create, are pretty huge with this Azir too. So it will make it hard for Cassiopeia to get close enough without getting poked.
GBM trying to fight back in mid lane, and he hasn't really lost any more CS. I mean, he's still about the same behind that he was before. But
Trace
they can wait, you know?
Taking out this whole jungle right now. Moving from Wolves straight over to that Gromp.
Well, that'll help too, because his CS number is less, but he's getting minions now that are worth much more than the average minions too.
Especially now that he has Saber complete.
Oh, GBM trying to make a plan to Frozen, but Frozen flashes out of it.
Still nice to get a flash right there just for your ultimate. If you're Azir and he's going to have the blue buff transferred over to him immediately after taking out these last couple of minions here. So
I'll be able to give him the blue buff too.
well, I am with the deficit right now with this Lee Sin. Things have not been going their way early
Hello.
on. Wow. Oh, whoa.
Wow, Tucson
challenging
very
smite.
low, getting caught. Yeah, Trace over the wall for an easy kill there. Apple can't save him. Trace just really aware of the opportunities and taking a good one there.
That was a great all-in from Trace.
Yeah.
To take out Tucson and using that challenging smite to get a lot of that true damage. Of course, Tucson still very low in terms of HP, thanks to the fact that he went for that warrior enchantment. Tower falls in the bottom side as Roar and Ignar are forced off the turret due to a recall. And so now this is a great opportunity for Jin Air just to group up and start sieging. 4-1 split will be extremely effective for them.
Yeah, Trace may have been...
Trace got a red buff out of that as well.
Yeah, and so despite being down in CS by quite a bit, those kills are helping him stay very relevant in this game.
Hugely important. It is weird that he got so far behind in the first place, though, and
that
troubling.
is kind of strange, yeah.
Can't always bank on getting these kills or making these plays onto the enemy jungler.
Oh, definitely. Well, he's back again to get more CS after being 67 down at the beginning of that.
It's pretty terrible that he's 60 CS down at 17 minutes into this game. That is not an acceptable way to lane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you imagine a world in which he wouldn't have gotten those kills, which is quite possible.
Yeah.
And suddenly, IM has a big advantage.
Another useless Hecarim.
Yep. And so, Dragon up in about a minute. We'll see who can claim it. This would be the second for whoever's able to take it.
Well, you're still not very confident in taking this Dragon if you're Incredible Miracle. You haven't really scaled all that well yet. Roar does have his Black Cleaver now, so at least has 2 core items. The Blade of the Ruin King finished for Pilot. And now Jin Air moving in to the river, starting to encroach on IM's territory with a few wards right here.
Yeah. Wow, Apple just keeps getting more CS. He's going to be huge, too. This is certainly a bit of a cause for concern, I think, in the later stages of the game.
Here we go. Chaser and Sweet really want to hand this blue buff over to Pilot for better poke, and they're going to get it. That is really important because having a blue buff onto Ezreal at this timing for a siege is very nice for them, even though this Ezreal doesn't have that sheen, so he's not going to hit quite as hard or be able to take out turrets nearly as quickly.
It seems like a pretty large error for IM to let that happen. Jin Air waiting to see if they can bait the fight. Here we go. Flash Pulverize actually onto Ignar. They're going to come through. True Shot Barrage used again. That's a lot of damage onto Thresh. Not quite enough to finish him off because of that shield. He's got the safeguard as well too. But Jin Air successfully pushed back IM, especially their support, so they might be able to get the Dragon. Never mind. GBM making a play onto Tucson here. Over the wall, trying to get that kill. It looks like he'll be able to just barely grab it. And so a near kill followed by an actual kill.
I like actual kills. Great play by GBM though.
Yeah.
Onto this Lee Sin, that highly mobile champion, able to corner him and shove him back into the team and then finish it up with a flash. Just well executed mechanically. And GBM continues to show so much mastery on such a huge champion pool.
Yeah.
This guy can play absolutely anything in the meta, it seems. When his team needs him to pick up a champion, he's always been there this year. And it's so strange, too, because GBM historically has been that player with a bunch of weird pocket picks like Heimerdinger and Morgana mid and seemingly unable to play a wide variety of champions. And then in 2015, he shows up with a much larger box of tools to work with out of the mid lane.
And look at that. They just showed us that despite being 70 CS down, Trace is actually 100 gold ahead of Apple right now because of the kills, because of other things.
Yeah, the turret.
Yeah, Trace is able to actually not only maintain, but exceed, which is pretty amazing. You wouldn't expect to see that looking at the CS.
Well, also those jungle camps are just worth so much money to
Exactly,
him.
yeah.
So.
That's really the biggest part, I think, and the kills.
He's been certainly farming a lot of the jungle this game.
Yep.
And there's True Shot Barrage to clear out this wave on the opposite side of the map. Here it comes.
Not quite soon enough, though. Oh, look out.
Oh, barely
turret's
too
still-
late.
Well, they would have probably finished off either way, I suppose.
All right, they're going to try and dive right here, Apple. So Chaser already there, Twisted Advance coming in. Sweet's
Wow.
going to punt him backwards.
This is dedication, man. Yeah, the pulverize, the headbutt, and Pilot coming in to add on more damage. Even GBM joining in. Apple right now, the strongest member probably of IM, and so a good target for Janair to get a bit more position in this game.
Already finishing up his Frozen Heart, however. Chaser trying to save his ultimate, forced to use it in the end to help secure that kill. GBM with a nice Azir roam after pushing up that mid lane. They're going to go ahead and take away the red buff if they can at the same time. It does go over to Tucson, who snags it with a smite. Chaser's not quite able to pick that one up.
Whoa,
and GBM
GBM
somehow died to Frozen.
Yeah, I guess there was a 1v1 there.
Ooh, that was a good read, actually.
Where's the body? I don't even know where he died. We'll have to see a replay of that one. GBM, I don't recall being too low on health after that. Let's find out. Yeah, full health. Frozen just over the wall with that ultimate, and GBM just not able to make it out.
That was a cool all-in from Frozen.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, you have to be careful right there. If you don't have a pink ward, you should know that there's probably going to be a ward and that there is a chance that Frozen's just going to pop over. He knows your flash is down. So playing a bit risky there, GBM, a little bit greedy, coming back into lane off of that roam. And he gets punished for it, but it's a nice way for Frozen to sort of get back into this game. I mean, IM definitely isn't out of this yet. They're only 2K gold down or so because of the farm advantage that they've managed to accrue in all three lanes. So it's actually minimizing the fact that they are 5 kills down at this point, and they got the first dragon as well. So still going to be hard for them to win because of this Lee Sin and how strong Janair's composition is in the late game, but definitely IM still can make a match of it.
Yeah. And we'll see what their plan is for that. Right now, the plan is just to get back a little bit of vision control throughout their side of the jungle. Janair has been in there for a while now.
So they're about to hit a big power spike when these tiers are completed also, because they have 2 tiers, so they're going to have a Muramana and that Seraph's Embrace. So in spite of that gold differential, we should be just about even when those items get finished.
Oh, he did not see that one ward, it looks like. So at least IM with some vision anyway, as they try to protect their blue buff. We'll see if they can. Looks like for now Janair's pushed back, but IM needs to be careful if anyone gets poked down. Dragon's coming up soon, and you don't want to be in that situation.
Took a lot of poke damage there from Ezreal and the Luden Zeko, however. Tucson hopping out on the Lantern, but blue buff. Who got it?
I think GBM got that,
GBM
actually.
must have
Yeah,
gotten it.
they were able to steal the blue. Wow, I wonder if that was like a Luden's proc or something.
Frozen may have gotten it too.
That was interesting.
It's hard to tell, actually, where that blue buff went. I think Frozen got it.
Did he? I didn't see it on him. We'll see. We'll scroll back up. Don't worry. We'll see it
The
sometime.
world may never know. Actually, somebody probably knows who is watching more carefully than we were, but
Someone. The players probably know. Who knows?
not us.
Yep. Pretty much. Dragging up in 45. Oh yeah, there's a blue buff onto Frozen. But is it an old buff or a new buff?
So looks like Trace actually going to be the first Hecarim tonight to not build the Trinity Force right after finishing up. And in this particular scenario, I think that makes sense. He really just needs to get tanky right now. There's a lot of damage that's going to be coming in off of Azir anyway. And he doesn't necessarily need to one-shot the Cassiopeia right here. And he's certainly not going to one-shot the Urgot. And of course, Urgot a great counter pick to Hecarim in general, just because as we saw CJ do it probably best and space on that Urgot. When the Hecarim comes in for the flank, with that home guard, you could just immediately ult him.
You just grab him. Yep.
Just grab him right away and make sure.
Corral that horse.
you know, slip the halter onto him.
Wrangle it, perhaps.
Gotta wrangle it.
Continuing our earlier theme. Urgot is a horse wrangler of League of Legends, I guess. Now we know.
He's a pretty damn good horse wrangler. So yeah, you just cut so much of his damage.
Oh, close call.
Because of his passive and the fact that he gets to... Oh,
here we go. A little bit of damage onto Tucson. And IM needs to be careful that they don't get poked off of this dragon.
Great recalling right now, trying to set up for this fight. They want to use that home guard if they are able. Pilot feverishly clearing out minions in the mid lane.
Yeah, looks like Dragon's going to be activated by IM anyway. Scrying Orb used. There's a teleport coming in. Apple there to defend his team. But Hecarim coming from the side. True Shot Barrage not doing a lot. There's immediately that position reverser onto Hecarim, just like we talked about. He's going to ult back over, and that's still a lot of damage onto IM. They're going to get pushed back anyway. Jin Air not interested in fighting too much, it looks like. They'll just back off, see if they can maybe get into a position to take the Dragon. GBM is going to go ahead and wake it up. He's the Dragon regular this game.
No, they really just want to push mid right now, actually, and continue to poke IM off of this objective. I mean, yeah, Tucson is going to have to go back. There's a large minion wave developed at the tier 2, but it doesn't look like that's actually going to be able to kill the turret in the end. Jin Air still a little bit shy about taking this dragon. It will releash right there and sort of awkwardly flap at the mouth of the pit.
He's just going to hang out outside the pit.
All right.
He's moved. Dragon is tired, finally. I'm like, when is he going to get tired of being in that pit? I agree with the Dragon completely.
What's going on? He's bugged out right now.
Oh, he's stuck. Like, oh, look, I can make it. Okay, there. IM has freed the Dragon. They are the mother of dragons.
Wow, so they're just going to give that up. Even though they had control over the crab and the speed shrine, they didn't want to commit to that fight. A lot of ultimates were already down for them, but I think they could have just continued poking. Tucson did have to go back to base and then return during that time period, but they were afraid of that minion wave going to waste on the bottom side. So instead, they take out the mid turret, go for the minion wave instead, say, we'll get the next one. It's 2-2 in terms of dragons anyway, so there's not really a big timer. Jin Air wants that gold immediately as opposed to playing the dragon game.
The dragon was acting kind of weird too. It was suspicious. You know, I don't know if I'd want to get too close to that dragon.
It's definitely tricky.
Yeah, the river dragon. He's like, I have to defend this Rift Scuttler. He's been through too much.
Wow, Pilot actually going for the Iceborne Gauntlet. So Jin Air really committing to just being able to kite this Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Same thing I suppose you could say to a lesser extent with the Urgot as well too, chasing you with the Acid Seeker.
Yeah, also, I mean, just more armor to deal with the Urgot anyway.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an item we don't see very often on Ezreal, but if played right, we know Pilot's a much more reserved AD carry. He really likes just standing in the back with these caster carries. He likes his Corki. He likes his Ezreal. Just sit there and hit you with mystic shots or rockets all day is really the way he likes to play the game.
True enough. I am trying to defend the incursion to their jungle for Jin Air right now.
I love how Jin Air has actually figured out a way as they sneak this Baron right now. It will be discovered, and they're going to have to back off of it, but cute little attempt. Jin Air has figured out a way to play this disengaged poke composition pretty well in the Cinderhulk meta, and they should count themselves lucky that there isn't a very strong engaged jungler on the other side, because I feel like the Lee Sin pick is actually helping them out quite a bit. Here, if the Sejuani was on the other team, they would have a lot more problems in terms of trying to execute this. We're just going to sit here and poke you composition.
Well, it's working this game, but is this the type of thing you can really carry into other teams, other compositions?
It's just kind of an inefficient way to play the current meta when you have all of these junglers like Gragas and Sejuani that have such strong engage tools.
Yeah.
Playing poke just doesn't do them a lot of service when you get all in and can be much stronger off of that big AoE CC.
Suppose
QSS. Holy cow, Pilot, this is the most defensive. Okay, he's got a Blade of the Ruined King to self-heal. He has a QSS to get rid of the Urgot ultimate now, and he has an Iceborne Gauntlet. This guy, this is the ultimate safety build onto Ezreal.
He does not want to die. If there was like an armor that was just made of pillows that you duct tape to yourself, he would buy that too.
The only thing he needs right now is to, what, 6th item buy a GA? That would be pretty crazy.
Banshee's Veil too.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't
Sell
do
his
that.
boots for Banshee's Veil.
No, he definitely needs more damage.
Oh, Chaser, a kickback. Tucson trying to escape out of this one. Roar there already, though. As is Frozen. So an interesting moment there, but Jin pushed back.
Well, they have sufficient wards around there, trying to get a few more in around the red buff, but do get punished for it a little bit. Chaser has to recall. The GBM continues just to defend this pink ward right behind the red buff.
True enough. Sweet's like, I don't want to take it. Just going to hang out.
All right, so they're trying to create a pick around this Baron once again. Sweet's still there. They're not going to be able to get it as GBM easily clear out that ward. Oh, wow, 2-6.
Oh, here we go. Sweet actually going in deep. Chaser following two-shot barrage comes through, but here comes the teleport for IM. Canceled, though. Doesn't look like they're going to turn that one around. Apple just walking back through the base now, and Jin starting that Baron. Can Chaser zone well enough? We'll see. He might be able to throw the ult in as well. Yeah, there it is onto Roar. Nice knock-up from Sweet. Oh, man, and GBM in with the Emperor's Divide, and IM just gets annihilated on the run already. GBM slowed down quite a bit, and Frozen backing away safely, but kills come in for Jin across the board, and this could lead to a very easy Baron now.
Yeah, now they're going to be able to take it.
Wow.
It's going to be a bit slow just because of their itemizations here, but there's not really anybody who can steal it unless we're talking about a miracle coming in from Apple, and there it is, wrapped up by Chaser. Chaser's doing a much better job of engaging than he normally does this game. That was a great ultimate to set up that fight, and then the combo coming in with Onslaught of Shadows and Emperor's Divide too, just wrecking Incredible Miracle. Didn't really have any time at all to respond during that engagement.
Roar like walked right up to the enemy team too. Look at this. He's right up there with Frozen. You don't want your carries in front like that.
They know there's a pink ward in that brush too. That was a super awkward play from Incredible Miracle.
That was a puzzling decision.
IM has made some weird decisions this game overall. They have information, but they're not really acting on it. I mean, they knew Chaser was around in that bottom lane when they lost some of those attempted counter ganks as well.
I think maybe they thought whoever they found there, they could hit him with either the Cassiopeia or the Urgot ult and get a pick maybe. Oh, meanwhile, some more action in the mid lane. Apple trying to go in and disrupt the back lines for now. They are going to push back Jin for the moment anyway. Tucson trying to get forward. Maybe a bit of a flank. Nope, he has to go around the side. Oh, they dodged the ult. Roar immediately getting wrapped up. Apple trying to get in the back lines. Oh, True Shot Barrage comes through, but a kill for GBM helps out. Roar is still alive. There we go, finally going down. Trace gets hit with the Cassiopeia ultimate. There's a kill finally for Frozen, but double for GBM.
Triple, actually. Oh, no,
I think it was just a double, yeah. Yeah, Pilot got that one.
Pilot shutting it down.
They're going to get the turret as well.
And they're going to get much more than that. Still Baron-empowered minions here, pushing all the way through.
I thought it was a good dodge by Roar of that ult from Chaser, but they were just ready to pick him up immediately with that. And Roar just isn't all that tanky this game. And Jin not having any trouble at all bursting him down, it seems like.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten that Frozen Heart yet. He was going for that armor penetration first. He opted to go for the Black Cleaver before he finished the Frozen Heart. So yeah, he's not that tanky, particularly against the magic damage that GBM is dishing out in spades. Another Dragon, third of the game for Jin and Chaser going to save that turret in conjunction with the True Shot Barrage from Pilot. Pilot, who's been part of nearly every kill this game so far and yet to die. So this very conservative take on the Cinder Hulk meta that Jin is playing seems to be working out.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not just playing super defensively as well. They're the ones who've been engaging these fights too. But you know, IM has given them a lot of fights though.
GBM just bought a Soul Stealer.
Yeah.
GBM.
This is GBM. Hey, I mean, he's 5-1-5. You can't blame the guy. Why not? But yeah, I feel like IM has really kind of given Jin a lot of really good opportunities this game as far as team fights go. They're sort of handing themselves to Jin on a silver platter with some of their positioning.
I think they're just trying to be overly tricky. That's...
Oh, Apple, can they get a kill here? More true shot barrage damage coming through as Apple tries to stay alive. Looks like it might be enough. Ooh, Trace, or Tucson rather, tries to come in, but gets knocked back immediately by that Emperor's Divide. He tried to get in behind GBM, but it just didn't work at all. And it just seems like everything IM tries to do is not working this game.
I like how aggressively Jin is closing this out, though. They have the tankiness to go ahead and dive these turrets. Chaser finally looking more confident on a Cinderhulk jungler instead of simply kind of running away from the team fights like he was, unfortunately, in the second round robin there.
Oh, they're going to get the inhibitor, and they're going to get the bottom tier 2 turret as well. So that was what, like 3 turrets and an inhibitor out of that?
Yeah, and IM, to recap this game, I mean, a little bit, they were actually doing quite well during that laning phase. Of course, all of their lanes ahead in farm, but it was some weird decisions on when to all in, and I think attempting to bait Jin in without the immediate response from the jungle, or ignoring the fact that they knew where Chaser was and still just trying to win some of these skirmishes, and it just didn't work out for them.
I think you said it well when you said they're being a little bit too tricky for their own good. You know, if they had sort of continued to play the straight-up game that had gotten them sort of that little edge in terms of CS, you'd think they could have probably at least stayed much closer.
Yeah. I agree, and they were trying to react to what Chaser was doing instead of putting down pressure with Tucson.
Yeah.
And now that we're in the late game and there's a 0-4-1 Lee Sin in the Cinderhulk meta with a Warrior enchant, I mean, he's just going to die.
It's not good. Whoa, Tucson getting over the wall with that safeguard, and Pilot can't quite pick up the kill.
There's basically nothing he can do.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And full tank Hecarim here. There's simply insufficient damage from Incredible Miracle to actually take out the Hecarim at this point in time. I mean, he's got Warmog's Frozen Heart and Spirit.
Oh, grab onto Chaser. I am trying to make a play here, but here comes Sweet. Get that headbutt pulverized to try to keep things safe. They did get the kill onto Chaser, though. So a little win for IM as they try to defend their base.
Trace still pushing up in that mid lane. Bit awkward for Chaser to be so far forward, but nice pick from Incredible Miracle. Now, can they actually hold on to this turret? They've sent Maokai back to deal with these super minions, but I don't think he's going to be enough by himself.
Yeah, it's unclear. Let's see just how well IM's going to be able to stop Jin from coming in here. The 4v5 is not a problem for Jin right now.
No, they have so much zone control as well. You see these Sand Soldiers still just keeping people from defending the turret or defending these minion waves. Now, Maokai was able to take out enough of these super minions to contain the threat onto the bottom tower, at least for now. Chaser back up, but a long, long way from being part of this fight. Pilot just trying to poke as best he can with the Mystic shots.
And it seems to be enough. You know, they're whittling down the turret. It's a little bit under half health right now. I am really in dire straits at the moment. Some objectives coming up pretty soon, so we'll see how aggressively Jin wants to push this. They could just easily back off. Pilot dancing. It's easy to dance in the back lines like that, Pilot. Dance in the front lines and then see how things go. There we go. There's the turret. Oh, nice knockup by Sweet yet again, and man, all the damage coming through means that it's going to be a quick fight for Jin as they take out IM. Another double kill coming in for Gank by Mom. And they're going to push them all the way back to Fountain. Yeah, Roar and Ignar. I've never seen an Urgot get blown up as fast as I have this game. It's really been something else. Apple trying to get back onto Jin, but I just don't know what it's going to accomplish here. Emperor's Divide. GBM getting around to push them back away from the Fountain. And pretty much an ace. I mean, Apple's still up, but it doesn't matter. The Nexus going down. Pilot wants that ace. Maokai's fairly tanky. Oh, Mystic shot dodged. Twist advance comes in. He gets the heal. Oh, and the game ends before Pilot gets it. Jin advance for game number 2 between IM and Jin. And we'll see what the priorities are going to be. There's that Bard ban again.
IM really doesn't want
Sweet's
Bard to get into this game. I wonder what has been going on in scrims for Jin to...
It's exciting because you know it's going to get through.
I hope this is a trend that we're going to see. Now everybody just bans Bard against Jin. We never know why.
I think it's because Sweet is an amazing Bard player, which we really have not seen yet in League of Legends, I feel. So hopefully we get to see it sometime. Because he is your ban.
So very different bans this time around. Sejuani taken out by IM. They may be trying to first pick the Gragas in this game if they want to remove it, considering they banned Gragas on the red side in the last one. So thinking about their last ban right here. So there's a lot of choices left for Jin Air. Of course, they could leave that Gnar up, take it in the first round of the draft. There's an Alistair ban against Sweet. 2 support bans.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. I mean, the Alistar, he was very good on last game, but the Bard intrigues me, Monty. And there is the LeBlanc ban. So, will we see perhaps a first pick Hecarim or Maokai?
Well,
or Gnar, for instance. Gnar is available.
I think Gnar is actually the better first pick here because you have both Gragas and Rek'Sai still up, so you have some options in terms of your junglers. So first picking a jungler isn't going to be that attractive.
Well, Apple's Gnar is extremely good. It was ban-worthy in game number 1, but not game 2.
Good think about the Thresh here as well. That's the other thing that I think is probably running through their minds. Cassiopeia,
wow.
Oh, okay.
All right. Interesting. So we'll see what Jin Air takes in response, but putting the priority on getting Frozen a champion he's comfortable on. Now, it didn't work out for them last game.
Instantly locking in the Gragas as well. And now there's no Azir because it was banned by Jin Air, even though GBM did fall behind just a little bit in terms of farm. GBM really performing well on that Azir overall. So where is GBM going to go with this, I wonder? And will they take the, maybe take the Sivir here instead? Just waiting to see what that top lane pickup's going to be. So Sivir for Pilot.
Thresh Gnar this time around, I would think.
I think they'll definitely take the Thresh. And then from there, whether they want to show their hand, they may want to try and see a solo lane before they take the Gnar itself.
Sure.
And instead they could just pick their duo right now. They could play something like, or they could take the jungle. Okay.
All right, yeah, Rek'Sai, all right. And you would imagine that Thresh is going to get locked in for Ignar, but we'll see.
Yeah, almost certainly. They just want to make sure that they can get some lane counter picks here in the end. So take the Rek'Sai right now, wait to see what Jin Air is going to do in terms of one solo lane and their duo lane. GBM could play AP Kog'Maw here into the Cassiopeia. I don't think he's going to play New Rise. That would be really surprising.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. It begins again. Yeah, they may actually just want to leave the mid pick to last, huh?
Yeah, they definitely should leave the mid pick to last on the red side and play something that's safe. I mean, if you take the Xerath now, there's so much kill pressure. I mean, Rek'Sai and Thresh roaming into the mid lane would be very dangerous for a Xerath, even though GBM is a really good Xerath player.
He is an extremely talented Xerath player, but
there we go.
Safer to pick that top lane, yeah.
For the Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, so maybe a Jinx for Roar?
Rumble and Janna, so more defensive-oriented support.
Yeah.
Looking for that peel this time around. Nice solid mid-game setup from Jin Air with the Sivir and the Rumble and Gragas. So they may want to get something that has a bit more carry potential in the late game if necessary for Jin Air. And there is a Kassadin coming in. That's a top Kassadin.
Or is it a top Cassiopeia?
Fair enough.
We've seen it before. Not in Korea, but by a Korean.
Still, blind picking the Kassadin would be a little bit risky, but it could be a flex pick. Both players may be able to play that Kassadin, and it will be Corki into this Sivir.
Whoa! Yasuo locked in immediately for GBM. Seriously. Okay, then.
Well, Yasuo hasn't been working out so well in Cinder Hulk or even pre-Cinder Hulk. We've seen it a couple times, of course.
So
Impulse. Xiao Wei Xiao likes to play that Yasuo. It was pretty bad. We saw that Yasuo coming in at IEM from the GE Tigers. It was pretty bad.
That didn't work out
We've
at all.
We've seen it in China as well. It was also pretty bad. So I'm waiting for the time that this Yasuo actually makes sense. Now they have a lot of knockups. They have Monsoon and the explosive cast to set up.
Welcome to game number 2 of IM versus Jin Air Green Wings. And IM still with the rabid fan base. They're all Frozen fans. Come on.
Well, this is an interesting pick into Cassiopeia because if you could win wall the Twin Fangs, it does kill some of her, or a significant amount rather, of her damage output. Also, IM has to be very careful because they have a ton of magic damage on this team. And so Locket and MR are going to be highly efficient when itemized by Jin Air. Oh, this is wacky. GBM actually starting with the Doran's shield as well for that little bit extra sustain.
Hasn't selected his skill yet.
I think this is pretty bad, but it may work.
You never know. I mean, GBM has always had, well, not always, but as far as one season ago, he's had a very robust champion pool.
I mean, Windball is really good against IM's composition. You're going to be able to block Twin Fangs. You're going to be able to block Corky missiles.
True.
So you will be cutting a lot of that damage just with the one ability. I just don't know exactly what Yasuo is going to do here. Now, their composition is pretty squishy. They're lacking a big tank. So if he can get onto the back lines, maybe he can assassinate that Cassiopeia before she can really do anything at all. Also, Windwall should block the Petrifying Gaze as well. Interesting. It's going to come down, I think, to how well GBM can use that Windwall to see how effective he is.
Does it actually block the Petrifying Gaze?
I believe it does.
Wow. I guess I haven't seen it in action.
I'm not sure on that one, but I think it does.
It'd be interesting.
I'm sure we're going to find out this game, Doa, if it does, in fact, block it. And his passive good in lane against Cassiopeia as well, because you're going to be able to not take quite so much damage off of the dots that Cassiopeia is putting down if you do get hit by one. So it's definitely interesting. I have a feeling this was picked for lane and maybe not for overall team composition. But
I think it was picked for intimidation factor. GBM throwing something at you you're not expecting.
Level
maybe,
2
early,
gank here.
Yeah, early action from Chaser here. Decides not to do it. Oh, but then Pilot gets engaged on. Nice whirlwind response, and here comes Chaser now. Pilot trying to bait people back. Can they get inside? Oh, he tried to flash, but Roar flashed out of it. So Summoners used on both sides. But Roar without that flash now, whereas Pilot only needed to burn the Summoner heal.
Yeah, Pilot, I think, messed up with his spell shield a little bit right there, too, actually having that hook land on him. So very favorable trade for Incredible Miracle. But in the end, actually, the heal for the flash going to be pretty good for Jin Air. A little bit of time lost in the jungle for Chaser. Chaser just going to go ahead and take the crab so that his dual lane has a little bit more protection as Tucson makes his way down to the bottom side of the map.
Yep, and Chaser without that flash for a little while isn't the biggest steal in the world.
Certainly isn't. So no one actually, you know, normally in a game like this where we would have a Kassadin versus a Rumble in the top lane, you'd see a lot more pressure on top considering that both these champions very easily ganked, but not this game. A little bit of mind games right there coming in for the level 2 gank on the more mobile bottom lane.
GBM for now, pushing up Apple, but there we go. Twin Fangs blocked by that wind wall.
That's the thing is if you get hit by the poison, you're going to nullify it with your passive shield, and then if Cassiopeia comes in with the Twin Fangs, you can just take that away with the wind wall. So it is really hard to be a bully with this Cassiopeia against the Yasuo in lane. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's not a matchup we really see much at all, ever.
Well, Yasuo and Cassiopeia have never actually been in the meta at the same time together.
They still really aren't, but GBM's playing Yasuo anyway right now.
He's making it work. He's going back to his off-meta pick roots, Doa.
GBM's got his own meta, but you know, I feel like Orianna could work pretty well right now, but we just don't really see people pick it up.
Orianna would definitely work very well against this Cassiopeia. Now, why you would play Yasuo instead of Orianna, I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, Orianna's like the GBM specialty, so
That's
whatever,
right.
whatever GBM.
The champion that he was known for coming into the competitive scene.
It was like the only champion he was good on for a full 2 years almost, you know?
He was good on Zed, too.
Okay, all right, he did have some good Zed games, but it was mostly Orianna, and now he's got a good chance to pick it.
Yep, absolutely. That's a very good point, Doa. Orianna definitely fine.
I'm a bit surprised. I'll have to criticize him in person later. No, I wouldn't do that.
Yes, you would.
Not unless you ask me.
Ask you to criticize him, please.
Yeah, please.
Dump all over my picks.
You just ask for, advice. Yeah, I'm like, well, what do you think is good right now, Doe? I'm like, Oriana. He's like, oh, I played that so much already. But yeah, man, it's good. He's like, how about Yasuo? And I'm like, I don't know. Picks it anyway.
That was a little bit of a risky counter jungle attempt right there by Chaser, considering that Yasuo wasn't even in lane right there, and he could have been collapsed on even with the wards that he had. So Trace doing much better in lane this time around. Trying to push out this Kassadin, but no moves onto the top side of the map yet, and Kassadin is level 6 right now, or nearly is level 6, yeah, just hit it.
No jungle presence at all in the top part of the map. It's all been oriented around the mid and bot, mostly bot. Bizarrely enough. The GVM keeping up in CS admirably with a little bit of a lead there.
Giving
teamwork.
Teamwork jungling right there.
That's right.
Go ahead, help him out with a little tornado over the wall. And now pink ward into the river for GVM. Tucson looking for a gank on the bottom side.
You gotta be careful with that. Roar still doesn't have flash up. Yeah, that was a waste of bullets, Corky.
Corky wastes so many bullets, man.
Seriously. If there was like an accuracy rating at the end of games, which there totally should be for skill shots, Corky would be down at the bottom.
That would be a fun statistic to see in terms of
skill shot accuracy. Yeah. Right, get on that. I want to see that. That'd be very cool. Can prove once and for all who's the best in hooking.
Yeah, you could track it independently by ability too. So like Q skill shot accuracy.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It would be. We have the best ideas.
More fun than these long farm games. Wow, nice trade there from GBM.
Yeah. All farms, or Frozen rather, is going to be handed the blue buff.
Chaser just going ahead and taking his.
Hey, well, I mean, Yasuo doesn't really need it, I suppose.
Nope, not very much. So we'll just help Chaser a little bit clear that much faster. Saber from both of our junglers this game. That really says that we're both teams really just wanting to farm right now, not trying to make plays on the lane.
Oh, goody.
With a chilling smite or anything like that. So pretty much just gonna maintain the status quo for a little bit. Trace, it's like he will be going for that Abyssal Scepter first. I think that's definitely the best buy in this situation because it does so much work not only in lane, but also pretty much in any kind of team fight that you're going to be seeing right here. Well, and Tucson also going for the Cinder Hulk. That's just more magic damage in this situation. So Jin Air, I think they can play this calmly, get a locket early on into this game, and then there's just nothing that IM's going to be able to do in terms of late game damage. Yeah,
the itemization as far as defensive things to buy for Jin Air is pretty easy to figure out. Just grab MR. Not too tough. So do you feel like IM kind of had a bit of a bad draft again with this?
It depends. I don't know what this Kassadin is supposed to be doing. So they definitely have a lot of damage. Their comp is on a timing window, right? They're up against the MR stacking of Jin Air. If they can make a play and start just bursting people down with Cassiopeia and Kassadin, it could work. But they're going to have a gold lead, and they need to make sure that they use some of these team fights to get onto the back line very efficiently. But that said, Spell Shield on Sivir and then an Abyssal on Rumble, who exactly are they going to burst down right here? GBM is going to be ulting them during that timing window where they want to be bursting, so
true. I
think it's going to be hard.
Yeah, Jin Air has a lot of good counter engage, I suppose.
Yeah, they can reset the fight too with Janna, so Kassadin gets in that back line. He's going to be pushed out pretty rapidly.
Well, Tucson trying to come in for a bit of a lane gank here. There's a ward in that brush though, so Jin Air probably isn't going to be too vulnerable to this.
Yeah, Ping's going down into that brush as well, so it seems like he knows that they have vision of the area, and they should, because considering there's one hit point of the ward removed already, so they attacked it.
Oh, that's true. They know
when it was being placed. Yeah. So Tucson trying to be patient as this wave moves back out. I'm not sure they can really do anything about this, though. Sweet has Monsoon, so it'll be really hard to actually make this gank effective.
Yeah, meanwhile, down in mid lane, something might be effective if Chaser comes in. They're going to try. Oh, flash with a knock-up, and there's that last breath. Oh, but the explosive cast misses. Well, it was close. That would have been a really sick gank, but
that was a nice
flash
body slam to hit the knock-up for GBM to actually ult in on.
Yeah.
And they tried to predict the flash too, but Frozen flashed to the side instead of backwards. Otherwise, he may have been hit by that explosive cast and knocked right back in. So good attempt. They're going to get a tower for it at the very least, so that's a pretty big bonus right there. Early mid-tower down in favor of the Jin Air Green Wings. So Yasuo pick actually working out just in terms of bullying this Cassiopeia out of lane.
Yeah, Trace spent some time down in the enemy jungle as well too, just making sure everything was safe. Walked through a ward or two, but it really prevented any sort of counterattacks from IM.
Here's the Shiv finished, first major item for Yasuo, getting the crit cloak as well, so it looks like he's planning on building into an Infinity Edge next. So that's not going to be very useful for split pushing, but of course, it's always that question, are we going to see the Yasuo in terms of will he be split pushing with a blade or just going for that big ult on the back line? And the answer is this is going to be a Yasuo that groups up as 5 and tries to just wombo you.
This seems like Jin Air really doesn't want to give any dragons to IM this game. Seems like they want to try to force some fights. Just get GBM fed. Meanwhile, a bit of a fight down at bot lane. Ooh, wow, Sweet getting a bit low. Manages to make it out. Slightly low mana now for Roar as well too.
Had to burn his Monsoon and the Flash, so this could be a good dragon timing for IM, and they're going to try and take the Scuttler. There is a ward about to expire, and they're not going to take that opportunity, especially with mid still pushed in that deep.
It might be a bit challenging.
Well, they've got a long way to scale, though, with this Kassadin still not completing his rod yet. Will be finished quite shortly, but Rod and Tier, this is a composition that takes a really long time to ramp up with Cassiopeia and Kassadin. Yeah, it's going to be very strong, but I have a feeling by the time that they get into their power spike, there's going to be so much MR on the side of Jin Air. I would have much rather have seen a Lucian this game from Roar instead of this Corki.
Oh, that's a good point. Chaser and GBM chasing to the jungle. Looks like they want to take this blue buff. And we may have a bit of a fight here as Apple's coming through. A bit of zoning from Trace to try to keep him out of it. Tucson comes in. There's a nice knock-up last breath onto Apple Trying to get away. It's hard to catch a Kassadin, but they may have caught Tucson. Looks like they have. Equalizer goes down at first blood. Taken by GBM on this Yasuo. It's working so far.
It's an inventive counter pick to Cassiopeia. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Ignar and Frozen still trying to claim this blue buff, but they have to do it very carefully. Yeah, it looks like they'll go ahead and get it. And meanwhile, Trace still farming up in that top lane. So, a successful little engage for Jin Air. They got one pick, they got the blue buff.
Good response from IM, though. Just go ahead, try and solo kill this dragon while you have the opportunity. You know that everyone is on the top side. They have 3 people, so they can easily secure this dragon, but it will cost them their top lane turret in the end. Pilot coming down here just to add a little bit of wave clear. No one in the mid lane right now to catch this wave, but Trace finishing off that turret, getting Jin Air a nice little lead right now, 2K about. Yep. That's what they're looking for, so we'll see if Chaser going to build into this Aegis as his next item. That should be what he wants.
Seems like it'd be a good idea. Oh, meanwhile, wow, Roar doing a lot of damage to Pilot, but he can't really push up any farther. They don't really know where people are. They're chasing him now. Ignar is right there. They need to be careful. Oh boy. Yep, that was almost a nice grab over the wall there.
Could have gone very interestingly if Rek'Sai tunneled over that wall right there for the 3v2. But back to Jin Air will back off. And now just continue rolling through the jungle, eliminating some of these Rek'Sai tunnels as Gragas finds them. And just more farming from Chaser.
Our Pilot hasn't been able to do a ton of damage to this turret yet. So that will slow down Jin Air a bit. But, you know, again, I feel like Jin Air has just picked themselves into a team that has time, you know?
Yeah, they definitely have some amount of time right here. And like I said, I would definitely hand this to IM composition in the late game if it wasn't a Corki that they were playing.
Let's see. Oh, well, Trace getting very low, but Apple getting baited in. There's the last breath again. Oh, Apple went way too far for that one, and Jin Air punishing.
That was a cute bait by Trace right there. Not even blowing his flash or his ult in that situation. Very confident that his team was there to back him up. And just great synergy. I mean, something we've seen this game is Chaser and GBM are really working well together to set up these Yasuo ultimates. It doesn't look... It looks like it's something they've highly practiced right now. 2 crit cloaks, you only want one of those GBM. Pickaxe instead. No, he's going to go for the boots and have quite enough money, it looks like.
It's the king of getting 2 of something.
He is, actually.
Yep, we've seen this a lot.
Double void staffs, just like tons of weird doubled up items, but this time remembers that he already picked up that crit cloak and just returns it to the store before grabbing the boots and upgrading his trinket instead. So
the APM is too high, man. It's clicking too fast.
Awkward situation for Cassiopeia as well, because had to go tier arm guard, so it will be a Zhonya's Hourglass first, but that's not exactly ideal to cope with the damage that Trace is putting down as well. And yeah, just a long time before this comp is going to come online. Chaser going for the Sightstone after his Cinder Hulk, understandable, but with the Sightstone and 2 upgraded War Trinkets already, they're going to have great opportunities to continue to create picks on the map and push forward now that they have this early turret advantage.
Jin Air's playing this out really cleanly, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to respect Jin Air. I may not like the Yasuo pick or think that it's ideal when they could have just picked Orianna instead, like you're saying, but they showed that they have like an ace up their sleeve right here.
Oh.
And certainly they're playing it out mechanically quite well.
Yeah. Well, GBM is going to find Tucson trying to take out this pink ward. Frozen's right there as well. Trace and Chase are coming down. They need to be careful. And yeah, Frozen and Tucson just backing off, not wanting to fight this one. Can't really blame them. That static shift's really giving GBM some really good wave clear as well too. So Frozen not even able to push the lane he's in.
Yeah, that's something that Jin Air is doing really well, is just keeping the pressure up in the mid and top lane. Roar holding his own, obviously nice CS lead for him down there. GBM now.
Oh, could be a bit of a dive. Sweet coming in. Will he be able to get the knockup? There's a Monsoon right into the last breath. Valkyrie away, the teleport coming in. Roar already dead. Apple not able to do anything about that. Chaser finds Tucson in the jungle here. Frozen coming back along with Ignar from behind, but Jin Air's already out. Oh, meanwhile, Ignar.
Oops.
Oh, that was not the direction you want to send him, but whatever.
So, yeah.
Nice try.
Explosive Cask and Equalizer dropped at the same time, so not going to be able to finish off Ignar.
The anti-wombo combo.
I mean, Jin Air's setting up these last breaths so well, using the Monsoon right there, right after the On the Hunt comes in from Sivir to allow GBM to have the drop. So, I mean, I'm impressed with this Yasuo play.
Yeah.
They're coordinating around GBM very well as an entire team to pick up kills in the side lane, and he now has a pretty substantial advantage. Farm lead, got that turret, now a couple of kills. It's all going really, really well for this Yasuo.
He's probably really close to that Infinity Edge too.
Oh yeah, he has it, I'm sure.
Yeah. And that'll just make him even scarier in those skirmishes that we've seen him be good at so far this game.
Probably going for Bloodthirster first, very unconventional build on Sivir, but allows for a little bit more forward play and sustain so he can keep on pushing and hopefully someday get that turret in the bottom side. Apple now starting to collect some CS.
I suppose when you're kind of on your own too, you need that little bit of extra safety if you're going to be in that solo lane as an AD carry.
Yeah, I think they just want to just continue to push the wave up as well, and it helps deal with some of the Corki poke that was annoying Sivir earlier on in this game.
Well, GBM starting to get a nice CS lead over Frozen in the mid lane, able to wander around and take a lot of that free farm. You can tell they really have kind of built this around GBM's Yasuo. They're giving him all this farm, they're setting up all these kills for him, and so far it's really working out. Yep, there's the Infinity Edge picked up, holding onto that Doran shield for dear life too.
Well, he has enough. I mean, he already upgraded his totem for the extra wards as well. So there's not really a need to sell it at the moment because he's able to get a ton of vision down, got himself a big ward as well, has that extra slot. So
this would be Janair's first dragon of the game, but it's only the second dragon overall taken. We'll see if they can grab it. I am trying to get in position to stop this.
Lane. There's nothing really they can do about this.
Not really. Oh, this is going to come in and try to steal it. Gets locked up. There's the last breath immediately. Dragon's still alive, though. Doesn't get out. A kill for Tracer. And there's the dragon as well. Oh, flash over the wall. They get onto Ignar with an equalizer. Man.
Very decisive play over the wall from Trace as they drop that and take him out. Roar's going to get a turret for his trouble, but 2 kills and a dragon in exchange for a turret. Not the kind of trade you want to make right now if you are Incredible Miracle.
Well, I think Janair's going to get more than just that, too. They're going to get at least that bottom turret, and they maybe get the tier 2 out of this, I think.
Yeah, Chaser just continuing to cause problems, is building into that Aegis of the Legion right now, so there's really not even a way that IM can damage this Janair team. Great itemization, I feel, from Janair so far. Wouldn't surprise me if GBM even went into a Hex Drinker as his next item.
Yeah, certainly could. They even gave him the red buff. They really, really want this Yasuo to carry.
There it is. Aegis done. That's probably means this game is over.
Static Shiv finished for Pilot too, so he can still be in one of those side lanes and push things up if they need him to. GBM. Looks like they'll chase Tucson away from Baron, and it's time to get some wards down.
Well, I'm sad, Doa, that IM didn't put up more of a fight this evening. I thought this was going to be a really close set, but Janair at least looks a lot better than they did at the end of spring.
Yeah, so what we're seeing today is kind of the better teams that looked pretty good at the end of last season. You know, Janair slumped a little bit, but overall those teams have improved in the offseason. And even though IM is having problems this game, they still look better than they did last season. It didn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot for that to be true, but it's true.
Yes. Well, I think that they had some hiccups in their draft today, and these are things that can be rectified in the future. So I think the fundamentals are much stronger on IM at the very least, especially what we saw in Game 1. They'll have some good games this season, I'm sure. But now a QSS onto GBM, so that is pretty much solely to deal with Petrifying Gaze. Interesting choice.
Yep. Oh, Apple comes over the wall, but he just doesn't seem to have a lot of damage right now. Tucson, oh, he flashed, and he got the well, was that a challenging smite onto Sweet?
No way you should flash in that situation, because Sweet had Monsoon and flash up himself. You're not going to be able to secure that kill regardless.
Well, it's like Tucson forgot that he didn't have Chilling Smite too, because he used Challenging Smite on Janna. I don't think that's the ideal use of that ability.
Jimmy, I'm going to start split pushing a little bit right here. Throws out a tornado, but backs off.
I mean, you
as
do
he sees that Thresh coming through.
You do reduce 20% of Janna's damage, you know. So
get some true damage down as well.
Yeah, it's true. I'm just saying. Janna's a little bit less strong. Apple in a little bit of trouble. They miss him with the Whirlwind. He's going to get back. Or will he? Gets out on the Lantern. After the equalizer was used by Trace. Meanwhile, the split push at the bottom going on. GVM versus Roar down there.
The Roarky.
Roarky. It's true. It's a good one.
I'm not a fan of the Roarky. Especially with the way the draft went, they picked Forky and cast it in the last round of their draft on blue side. Could have easily picked a counter matchup to Sivir in Lucian and gone for that instead.
Certainly issues in drafting. That's for sure. And so we've reached that point in the game where Janair can kind of play this out casually and safely.
Yep. All they have to do is just continue to stack that MR. GBM going for the MR early with that QSS. I think that's a nice buy. He doesn't have to buy any kind of armor penetration yet, really. There's another arm guard coming in for Apple, but that said, it's not very critical that they go for that, considering the targets are pretty squishy anyway, even with that armor. Not a lot of HP to back it up. And he'll be just fine. Goes for Merc Treads as well. And Pilot working towards the last Whisper all the same. And GBM just keeps on split pushing. Not really anybody who can stop him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really like how Genera just kept the lanes pushed this entire game. It's been unrelenting minion pressure for them. Even after they got that mid turret down, they haven't let up hardly at all.
Wow, and it looks like he's going to get this turret too. Roar going up really far, but they've got a Gragas coming from behind. This seems a bit dangerous. Oh, no, never mind. Chaser changed his mind. Probably could have come in for a flank there.
GBM doesn't have a lot of lifesteal, though. In fact, doesn't have any at all. So he needs to be a little bit more careful about those kind of trades. Can't go too aggressively onto the turret.
You don't need lifesteal if you quickly steal their life.
Wise words from Noah.
Ooh, yep. That's right. Oh, Tucson gets knocked up. Chaser tries to do something. Gets hit with that death sentence. GBM coming in. There's the last breath on the Roar. Roar Valkyries away. GBM, I don't think that's the place you want to chase there. Nope. GBM still alive for now. Oh, finally goes down. Apple with the kill there. Trace in a bit of trouble. And that was not the most ideal fight for Jin Air, but they get the mid lane tier 2, so all's well that ends well, I guess.
Yeah, no 80 carry there at all. Really kind of questionable attempt at a dive against a Corki that still had his flash up. The danger here is that IM can do Baron.
Yes, they can.
And Chaser doesn't have a lot of HP, so they're going to try and take a stab at it. It is one of the only ways they can come back in this game right now, but it's a great call.
We need a Pilot to have one of those amazing space sivir moments right now.
Oh, they're doing this Baron really fast. There's not anything Jin Air can do to stop this.
Steal it with Whirlwind. Oh, too late. Sweet, lost his opportunity to be hero. Well, Dragon's up, so they can at least get that, get the second Dragon. And all this means, Monty, is that Jin Air will just be even safer and even more methodical.
All right, GBM's going to go for GA now as this next item, it would appear. Getting that chain vest in.
All right.
Let's take a look at this. So Chaser gets grabbed right here. GBM thinks he has an angle. There's the cast. Roar gets ulted, but GBM attempting to go through the box and then flashing out and taking an enormous amount of damage. Meanwhile, Trace doesn't drop his ultimate before he gets hooked, and so just gets burned down in the end in that 4v5. Really sloppy play from Jin Air. It now costs them a Baron, and it's going to delay their ability to close out this game, and it gives IM a chance to actually scale here. They are still going to be scary, especially if Apple gets the Chalice next, because he's going to have so much mana refresh off of kills and assists.
True enough. Looks like they might get this bot lane turret now. Certainly will with the Baron buff.
It's a big, big swing for IM. They're clawing back into this game in terms of gold.
True enough.
So
let's see if they can find anyone.
Locket's completed now as well. And if Pilot also gets a QSS, they're going to have so much magic resist, even against this high damage team.
Oh, Whirlwind coming through. They get the knock upon the Roar, but no GBM there for the last breath or anything.
Looks like Jin Air happy just to give up this mid lane turret. Oh, they have some wave clear right there. I mean, they have 2 static shivs.
And you'd think they could clear it. Well, Chaser taking some damage from Apple on the outside of that fight. No one's able to kill that cannon minion. Sivir coming close. Well, Baron, what can you do?
Wait it out. Maybe save your turn. There it goes.
Okay.
Right in time for another wave to show up. There's another hook. Trace is going to dodge that one. They finally get the tower down, but that was a big delay from Jin Air.
Yeah. Well, Jin Air's still a little bit ahead here. And once Baron buff runs out for IM, they're going to be right back on the defensive, it seems like.
At least they caught up in terms of that gold deficit, and they got more of a chance to scale with this Kassadin and with this Cassiopeia. So there is a small amount of light at the end of the tunnel now for Incredible Miracle. Still a chance they can come back thanks to that foolish play by Jin Air on the tier 2 and the bottom side.
Yeah, you really can't be taking chances like that, but we do know Jin Air, and we know sometimes they get a little bit cocky, especially a certain player in the mid lane.
Last Whisper done for Corki, so they are starting to have more and more physical damage, which is how they really have an opportunity to win this game. I mean, Roar has to come up big with a lot of auto attacks. They're going to come through in this one.
Sure enough. Seems like the poke isn't really going to do a whole lot for Corki at this point.
I don't know why Jin Air is trying to fight over vision right now around the Baron with so long left on that timer. They're trying to push back the ward line just so IM doesn't have as much comfort moving past the river. But Baron's down for them now. So Jin Air managed to make it through, only losing a couple of towers. But still, IM pulling back within under 2K gold in terms of that advantage. And GBM is right back to split pushing.
Yep. Ideally, this hasn't tilted Jin Air too much. We've seen it happen when people pick Yasuo in the past. Gotta watch out.
Gotta watch out for the self Yasuo tilt.
The Yasuo tilt is real. Just ask Kuro.
Tilt yourself with it.
Yep. That's the idea.
Not a great strategy. There's the GA done for GBM now. The ultimate in Yasuo defense. Huge amount of MR. I don't know why you would build the chain vest first in this circumstance, though. Definitely not the best core component to start off your build with, but he has 147 MR on Yasuo at this point. Going to be very, very difficult for Incredible Miracle to take down.
Yeah, and that'll be one of the really nice things about going into team fights against champions like Cassiopeia and stuff too, is that you need to be a little bit more tanky, I think, for situations like that. Unless you just kill him right away.
Well, it's going to be hard with Zhonya's and a Seraph's Embrace, so I think it makes sense to go ahead and get the GA right here.
Oh, a hook on the Sweet, but no follow-up. Could have been devastating with Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds, but not enough IM members around to make a play out of it.
Dragon's very late this game as well. The fact that we're only going to Dragon number 4 here at nearly 34 minutes into this game. Nope.
Oh, found him. Karma sense. Oh, hi.
Nice, actually took down all the wards very quickly, and Pink Ward doing his job. Oh.
Ooh. Well, Roar's starting to poke a bit with these Corki missiles. And Dragon is up. So Jin Air rotating back again. They may have to fight this. We'll see. I am pushing ahead. Jin Air has that Dragon activated. There's a nice knock-up. They're not going to go after it. They want the Dragon instead. They will get it. Tucson tried to steal it again. Oh, now they're going to go in after him. They pulled Tucson out on the Lantern. And Jin Air, do they pursue? Chase. Oh, man, everybody gets out of it. Oh, but actually GBM gets in. Manages to get that last breath off. A big heal comes in from Sweet as well. But I am getting out of it pretty smoothly. Apple comes in. Oh, taken out right after the Zhonya's. But a kill onto GBM from Frozen means that Jin Air is on the run a little bit. Maybe didn't want to engage on that one. A flash from Frozen, but he can't finish off Trace just yet. Oh, Pilot, though. He sees Tucson.
Wow, there's Pink Ward in the brush right there, noticing Tucson. Tucson has to hop out of his tunnel. They're going for another Baron, actually, potentially. They can do that Baron very quickly with the Cassiopeia. Wouldn't blame them at all to take it. Trace does have his TP up, but there's a target. He's got a TP over.
Yeah, Chaser and Pilot coming in as well, too. Oh, no, they turned around, so now it's only Trace. What in the world? That must have been a bit of a miscommunication, because Chaser and Pilot were there and then went away. Okay, things are getting interesting now. Trace running. Finally, Pilot and Chaser showing up. The death sentence misses. That was a very weird series of events there for both teams.
And they have to deal with this huge wave in the top side as well. Trace actually just going to recall. GBM will take out the wave. So quick TP back in, not going to commit to that Baron at all. And You know, this is one of the reasons why Yasuo just isn't great. I mean, GBM got an ult off onto Tucson and Ignar in that fight, immediately died, rezzed, and then immediately died again without doing much of anything. So his damage output pretty darn low.
Yeah.
And he's had to build all these defensive items. And here we go again, GBM coming around the side. Trace showed at the bottom side because the wave control from IM was so good that he had to clear it out.
Yeah, I am a little bit nervous here. Apple over the wall to fight GBM. Roar, they're all chasing him. GBM on the run right now. That's a lot of damage. Gang by Mom in trouble. There's Azonia's, and that'll mean GBM gets taken out by IM. Oh boy. And now Jin-Air. Can they defend against this Baron? IM took a bit of damage.
No, IM definitely can't do this Baron anymore. The Equalizer's back up. Pilot has his ultimate available too, and Tucson is way too chunked out to be efficient in this little battle. So
well, GBM getting out of position lately in a way that we have not seen very often
I mean,
from him.
He did stop that Baron from going down, but there's just nothing he can do as this Yasuo pick because he was trying to duel with the Kassadin, couldn't get the knock-up on Kassadin, and then found himself in a situation where the Zhonya's was easily able to halt his progress in terms of getting that kill.
Sure enough. I am still sticking around the Baron. It's like they think they still have an opportunity here, maybe. But GBM's back up, like, right now. No, hard to catch Apple. Jin-Air gets an opportunity to clear out all these wards. Looks like they're going to be able to do it without any issues. Now, does Jin-Air start the Baron?
The endless Baron dance
I know,
continues.
Right? All right. Jin-Air rotating down in the mid lane now. Looks like they're just going to push for a little while, see if they can force IM to catch up with them. Or just get the lane pushed up anyway.
This Yasuo is just such an unforgiving pick. We saw GBM do a great job of getting an advantage. Fantastic work ganking the side lanes and good synergy with his teammates for getting that last breath off. But if you make that one mistake like he did, playing overly aggressive under the turret, and he gave IM a foothold back into this game, the Yasuo just is a non-presence in these team fights.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it puts a pretty big onus on the rest of his team to do well. And if you're dying that fast with the Yasuo, when you have that much MR combined with a locket on your team and you're still going down without doing anything, I'm not sure it's an appropriate pick for this meta.
I think a lot of people would agree with you, but not GBM.
GBM also just going for the Vamp Scepter right now, so maybe almost certainly actually. Well, we'll see if he could go Bloodthirster right here for the extra shield.
Bloodthirster would probably be a good idea. Wow, Jin-Air turning onto this Baron. Is this going to work out? Apple and Ignar getting closer, and Jin-Air backs off immediately. They were trying to bait something with that, and they caught Tucson. Tucson low, and he gets taken out by Chaser. Jin-Air successfully baiting into a pick there. And now they can just keep the pressure up onto this Baron for a little while.
They have to actually start this. The problem is that Void Rush is going to be back up, so they have a very narrow window of time. Just the death timer, effectively, before they have to deal with this Rek'Sai again. Pilot clearing out the top wave. Sweet actually took a lot of damage from the Baron.
Yeah, and now they're going to go on to it. Okay, so you would think they can kill Baron pretty quick, but it's still such a big pressure from all the poke here. Landry giving vision. They're going to throw Apple in and then pull him out again. And I don't think Jin-Air can do this. They're taking too much damage. The Baron getting low. Here we go, Equalizer to try to save it. Baron does get taken by Jin-Air. Heals coming in for a sweep, but that's a kill for Apple right off the bat. GBM gets a nice last breath. There's a Zhonya Zoe. A kill, though, onto Frozen is pretty big for Jin-Air. A kill comes in for Corki, though. And Apple goes in to try to assassinate GBM. Doesn't quite do it. Now he gets him. Meanwhile, Chaser looking for a bit of revenge. Pilot's still there. Tucson comes in. Roar in the fight as well. Chaser over the wall. Another kill. That's a double now for Apple. And Pilot in big trouble. So they get the Baron, but they get aced. Jin-Air just making some really poor decisions this game.
Well, and if you go in on the Baron like that, you're getting so much MR shred against you, against a Kassadin.
Defeats the purpose of what you're building.
And a Cassiopeia in the late game, so a lot of that MR not going to be very useful right there, and they try and just burst this one down. GBM attempts to use the wind wall to cut some of the Baron damage. Frozen comes in, great ultimate, but Chaser able to snag that Baron in the end. GBM gets exhausted during his last breath, so it's not actually doing that much damage. And then he comes back up, and what's he going to do? Walk around in the pit a little bit, and then Apple pops back over. Good rift walking from Apple, actually, just in and out over the pit.
Oh, action down at Dragon right now. Actually, Trace picking up a kill, and I am getting some action, but they're going to throw it away just as fast. So I'm like switching between monitors here. That's a double kill for Trace before he got taken out. Dragon not acquired by IM. So 2 kills right back for Janair.
But no Dragon buffs, actually. So Trace teleporting in to make that pickup, and now they actually are going to be able to get Dragon number 4. If Janair can win this game, maybe they could do it just by forcing enough Dragons and
Seems
having
like
that 5 stack. So that's going to be it.
Well, I mean, as far as what they lost from that ace, it amounted to not much. They didn't lose their inhibitor turret or anything like that. They came back right away, got 2 kills, got Dragon. So, you know, I am getting the edge and then immediately losing it again. This game. This game, guys.
Yeah, this game.
Yeah. Monty, when you play the game of throws, you win or you die. And sometimes you win and then die and then win and then die. But eventually somebody dies and somebody wins. It's the game of throws.
It's true.
Yep.
Certainly not one of the cleaner games we've seen in this very young season.
Not really. Well, a couple QSSs now on Janair. Pilot has one as well.
Everybody gets to have MR.
Yep, unless they do a really long Baron and lose it all.
And there's the Spirit Visage for Chaser too, so we're really going with all the MR this game, as you would expect. Rylai's there as well for Trace.
So you would think Janair should still be able to win this.
Oh, they can. It's just going to be slow, though.
Of course.
I mean, they basically have to get 5 Dragons at this late stage of the game. Apple has everything a young Kassadin could dream of. The Athenes as the 3rd item now, followed up by a Void Staff. So those Void Staffs, huge pickups right now for Incredible Miracle. That's exactly what they need.
It's true.
To deal with all the MR stacking. And Apple's resets are going to be pretty darn crazy with his stacking up of the Rift Walk and getting that 30% mana back every kill or assist that he grabs. So,
oh, here we go. Chaser trying to make a play. Nice equalizer, but Chaser a little bit caught out here. Apple comes over the wall, a little bit of damage. That's a kill for Roar now. And IM getting the better of that fight. I feel like Janair kind of forced that one a bit too far.
Well, Yasuo was also not able to get an ult off during that engagement.
Yeah.
Trace had a nice equalizer, but they weren't all there yet to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And now they have no more Aegis because Gragas is dead. At least they have enough wave clear to probably hold off for the time being.
True. Well, that turret getting very, very low. Tucson trying to come in, doesn't find the knock-up. They do get the turret, though. Janair trying to save this inhibitor. Might see a bit of a 4v5 here, but...
Without Gragas, there's no way to set up this Yasuo ult, so they're just going to lose the inhib.
Yeah, well, not unless Sweet hits a whirlwind, which he did not. There goes the inhibitor. So Janair looking a bit disjointed in the latter half of this game.
Well, it's just the Yasuo pick. What are you going to do with it now? There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with the Yasuo.
Split push farm, I don't know.
I think you take almost any other champion that is in the meta right now, and you're able to make some plays with it.
It's very bizarre. Like even in picks and bans, they just insta-lock it for the last one. They're like, haha, Yasuo.
Fooled you.
Ah.
Now, to their credit, like I said, they did use it well early, but there's just, you could see the limitations on this champion.
Definitely. Yeah, because it's a Yasuo with pretty much all the items you could really desire, you know? I mean, maybe he'll get that Mercurial Scimitar out of the Quicksilver Sash at some point, but it's not too helpful. Or all the items don't seem to be doing him a ton of good anyway.
Baron up in a minute 26. And of course, I am with the Cassiopeia and a Blade of the Ruin King Corki is going to be able to do that in no time flat.
Yep. Oh, the last tier 2 for Janair. Trying to defend it. The Corki Gatling sound will not go away.
Oh, it's broken.
It's going forever. Oh, great. Is this hell, Monte Cristo?
Corky Gatling, yeah, that bug happens sometimes. A little bit of poke right there. And Tucson trying to split push at the moment. So Jin Air is going to have to give up this tier 2.
Yeah, it looks that way.
As Apple wants to put some more poke damage down. Actually, Jin Air is doing a decent job of defending this, all things considered.
Not bad. All right. Well.
The never-ending Gatling gun.
Does it go away when he dies?
We can only hope, right?
Wait. Oh, no, there it is.
Must be, at least we can switch the camera to the mid lane sometimes to ignore it. Must be very annoying if it's happening to his teammates right now. All right, Baron's going to come up. Baron is live. No wards for Jin Air. They're going to have to get over here and face check a little bit. Already, Tucson starting. They're going to try and two-man this Baron. Chaser's just going to do the Raptors.
Oh, boy. Casually sauntering over. I wonder what's happening in the Baron pit. Let's find out. It's not much. Throw down a ward. Oh, my gosh, they have Baron. There's a knockup from Sweet. Can they get away? Trace coming in with that teleport. Low health onto Tucson. Nice knockup. Nice last breath, actually. But will they be able to follow it up with enough? That's a kill for Pilot. Things looking okay. Apple having to flee the fight right now. 2 for Jin Air after the Baron gets taken out. Roar on his own. And Jin Air. Oh, he's still getting away. But here's Chaser comes in with the flash. Body slam. And that is 3 dead. Baron is just not where you want to be this game, apparently.
Baron is where the throws happen this game, Doa. And there's the 5th dragon as well. Jin Air can take out an inhibitor and then turn back onto that one.
Yeah,
Frozen got caught with a beautiful combo between the equalizer. He had to pop his Zonias immediately, and then GBM was still on top of him when he came back out of it.
It's a lot of time until they come back. It's still a full 30 seconds. Can they actually end here? Jin Air coming in. And this could be it. The minions are getting Baron buff, though. No, you got to turn around,
You have to turn around.
You got to turn around. They're not turning around, Monty.
The Baron buff is too much, I think, to deal with.
19
so
seconds.
Risky.
They got to do it in 20 seconds. Maybe they can. Last breath onto Ignar. There's 1 damage. They really need to focus on the objectives here. GBM needs to turn around, needs to hit these turrets. Apple trying to be annoying from the outside. And Jin Air looks like they'll be able to just barely finish it off just in time.